Welcome to the Buddhist Boot Camp podcast. Our intention is to awaken, enlighten, enrich, and inspire a simple and uncomplicated life. Discover the benefits of mindful living with your host, Timber Hawkeye.
Without anybody asking, my friend Sophie tells everyone that she is vegan. She then proceeds to tell them how much they would benefit from changing their diet as well. According to her, she only wants to help people see the light. Unfortunately, all they see is another crazy vegan putting jackfruit on their plate and calling it pulled pork. When I asked her why she does this, she said, "We've all been raised to believe that sharing is caring. But I am not so sure it always is." A few organized religions send missionaries door to door to spread the word of God, to recruit new members into their church, and to offer people another shot at salvation. Even the phrase sharing is caring is a biblical reference, often quoted but more often misunderstood. The Salvation Army actually coined the term with a trademark in 1950, guiding us all to share what we have with those who are less fortunate. And that, right there, is the problem. When it comes to offering food and shelter to those who have none, sharing is a wonderful idea, even holy if you must. But for someone to preach to people who follow a different religion, or none at all, because they are seen as less fortunate, and to do it under the guise of sharing is caring, is anything but caring, loving, or kind. In that instance, sharing is actually demoralizing. It's what nonviolent communication calls unsolicited advice. It's when someone with a superiority complex thinks they are helping those who are less fortunate or inferior. That superiority complex is exactly what sent me running from Judaism in the first place, where believers chant Adonai hu Elohim, which means my God is the God, implying all other gods are false. Oi! The reason this is such a slippery slope is because I'm here sharing my views with you, so how is this different? I used to think it had to do with the intention behind the sharing, but that's not it at all. I mean, my friend Sophie has the best intentions when she talks about her plant-based diet, and the missionaries who knock on your door to save you from eternal damnation are also trying to help. So when does sharing stop being an act of caring and starts becoming a form of harassment in disguise? The distinction, I believe, is determined by whether we are asked to share or if we simply graffiti our opinion on everyone. In other words, Sophie, even though I also follow a plant-based diet, so I'm certainly not criticizing your decision there, if nobody asks about your veganism, your political views, your sobriety, or how many dogs you've rescued, and you take it upon yourself to tell people about it all, there is no way to avoid possibly coming across as someone with a superiority complex who needs to feel good about themselves by standing next to those you judge as less fortunate. Few people know this, but that's why I became a spokesmodel for Smirnoff vodka the same week I gave up drinking 20 years ago. I wanted to make sure that I never start thinking of myself as better than people who drink. We are all equal. We share so much with one another because I believe it's our human impulse to connect, whether it's to share our joy with each other or because misery loves company. Unfortunately, sharing is sometimes used as a weapon to manipulate, guilt trip, or shame others into feeling inferior, which again is just another way for the ego to feel good about itself. It's up to us to detect what's hiding behind the scenes. It isn't always pretty. I totally get why Bible pushers, as they are called, shout about their faith from mountaintops after it has enriched their own lives so much. I want to do the same thing when I discover a new restaurant that blows me away. What I need to do, however, is practice restraint and avoid talking about it unless someone actually asks me if I know a great place to get something specific. What drew me to Buddhism is its hands-off approach, so to speak, where each practitioner simply vows to be kind and do less harm, but never to recruit. In the spirit of quoting biblical references, even Matthew 6:1 states, "Don't do your good deeds publicly or to be admired by others." You see, Jesus can't be blamed for what is being done in his name. And if a Buddhist temple tries to recruit you, it's a business move, not a Buddhist one. Remember, forcefully trying to lure someone to do anything, even if it's to embark on a spiritual path, is the work of the ego using guilt, shame, or fear disguised as compassion when it's anything but. As my teacher used to say, you can't give by throwing. I'm reminded of my buddy Bill, who didn't tell anyone about his cancer diagnosis, treatment, or recovery because he knew everyone would just bombard him with their opinions of what they think he should or shouldn't do, send him books and articles to read, drown him with information with the best of intentions, but drowning him nonetheless, because we rarely pause before we open our mouths or post online, text, tweet, or email to reflect on whether anyone even asked us for that information that we're about to spew. We rarely think about how it might come across when nobody asked for it. We each need to pause, contemplate why we share what we do, with whom, and for whose true benefit. So again, before speaking, or texting, or posting something online, ask yourself, was I asked? Is this necessary to say? And does it need to be said by me? Because the ego will make us believe we do everything for all the right reasons, but it's not always true. I just learned that unsolicited spam emails count for 85% of all messages sent and received online. 85%. What does that say about everything we share with one another without being asked? Gandhi was wise to invite us to only speak if it can improve the silence.
Timber Hawkeye is the best-selling author of Faithfully Religionless and Buddhist Boot Camp. For additional information, please visit BuddhistBootCamp.com, where you can order autographed books to support the Prison Library Project, watch Timber's inspiring TED Talk, and join our monthly mailing list. We hope you have enjoyed this episode and invite you to subscribe for more thought-provoking discussions. Thank you for being a soldier of peace in the army of love.